Today I am sharing two pretty easy bread recipes. I actually, let me grab it, picked this book up, The Everyday Bread by America's Test Kitchen. It does have a little QR code where you can watch like how-to videos. I haven't tried that out yet, but I'm making two different recipes from inside this book. One of them, the first one you guys are gonna see, is a super easy 3-ingredient bread. That one turned out great. We actually had it with our dinner one night, and then I just finished a pumpkin bread. I felt like that was perfect for the season that we're in right now. So I tried a pumpkin bread recipe, a different way of preparing it, cooking it, than I have done in the past. I have a pretty good pumpkin bread recipe that I have made years and years and years now, but this one was a little different, so I wanted to try that out, and it has a yummy little glaze on it, so definitely like kicked up the sweetness factor, but I'm about to cut into that one. That is what I am sharing with you guys today, so let's go ahead and get right into these two bread recipes. I will have the book linked in the description box if you guys want to check it out and add it to your own cookbook collection. Okay, we are going to start with a 3-ingredient bread because I think it would go great with our dinner tonight. And this one is on page 69 of the book. I'm adding in 3 cups total of self-rising flour. So that's our first ingredient. And then 3 tablespoons of sugar. That's our second ingredient. And we're gonna give these two a little mix before adding our third ingredient. Okay, and as far as our third ingredient, I have 6 ounces of beer. I am using Budweiser just because that is what the recipe suggests using. They say that works the best. I'm just going to mix this in. Okay, I really don't think 6 ounces is enough. I'm gonna add a little bit more beer. Probably another ounce. All right, we're gonna go with a total of 8 ounces. So I'm gonna add 1 more ounce. Okay, 1 more ounce. We're just gonna go a little bit by a little bit until this is enough to make it a dough. All right, so instead of 6 ounces, I did a total of 9. And that's definitely the dough consistency that you want for bread. It's getting really hard to mix. I'm just trying to get at those last few little pieces of the mixture at the bottom. I'm gonna get all the extra off my spoon also and remix that in. Okay, I do have my oven preheating to 400 degrees. I have my bread pan here. I like to use these silicone ones. They just make getting things out so much easier. I did go ahead and grease it as well. All right, so I'm just gonna get my dough into my bread pan. Just kind of plop it in there. And I'm gonna use my spoon to just kind of smooth it out and make it form into the pan. All right, and again, my oven preheated to 400 degrees. I'm gonna bake this for about 40 minutes. All right, I've got the bread out of the oven after 40 minutes. The top looks good. Pretty sure it is done. So I'm gonna let it cool for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to get it out of the little silicone liner and let it cool for about 2 hours. Like I said, I'm making this to go with dinner, and it's like an hour after lunchtime. It's about 2 o'clock. So we're gonna wait a little bit, but hopefully it'll be all good to go with our dinner, but I will definitely slice it up. We're gonna lather some butter on it, and I'll show you guys how it turned out once we cut into it. All right, I had to leave this so you could see I took a bite out of it, but it baked really well, completely done all the way through. Nice and soft on the inside. The outside, the top is a little crispy, which is a nice difference there, and really good with butter. I wish I would have tried this warm. I feel like it would have been really good. It's still good cold though. And the directions, like I said, I'm following the book, and it said to let it cool completely for 2 hours. So that's what I did, and dinner just finished. So we're gonna have this with some homemade hamburger helper. You guys should probably be seeing that video either this weekend or next week. It just depends, but it's all Instant Pot recipes. So we've got our freshly baked bread and some homemade hamburger helper for dinner tonight, but this was really good, and I will definitely make it again. Okay, now we've got that easy peasy 3-ingredient bread made. Definitely enjoyed that one. The whole family loved it when we had it for dinner. The second one I'm sharing with you guys in this recipe is not a 3-ingredient recipe. It is still from that cookbook that I mentioned, and I will have linked in the description box. This one is a pumpkin bread, so very on par with the season that we are in right now. It does have a few different steps though. So right now I just have a little mixing bowl here, and I'm adding in 1 1/4 cup of just regular all-purpose flour. Then we're gonna go in with a teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda. Let me turn that here. Okay, and we're just gonna whisk these together. Okay, we have moved to my stovetop. I have a saucepan here, and I'm adding in 3/4 cup of just plain pure pumpkin puree. We're also going to need a tablespoon later on. We're gonna make a little glaze to go over this bread, so just to let you know, we're not done with the pumpkin. All right, and then we're going in with 1 1/2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice and about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna turn my heat on medium, and I'm gonna mix this up. Probably could have used a smaller pot for this, but you just never know. And I'm just gonna stir this here and there until this mixture becomes just a little bubbly. All right, so it was starting to bubble a little bit on the bottom. I took it off the heat. I've never cooked pumpkin before I put it in pumpkin bread, so I'm curious to see if it really makes that big of a difference in flavor or texture or whatnot. But now I'm adding in 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar, and 1/2 cup of oil. And I'm just gonna mix all this together. All right, now I'm going to let this cool for about 10 minutes before I add the remaining ingredients. And while I wait, I'm preheating my oven to 350 degrees. All right, it has been 10 minutes. I did start laundry, so you guys might hear that going in the background. The laundry room is not too far from the kitchen here. But I'm going to add in 2 large eggs and 2 tablespoons of whole milk. I'm gonna whisk that together. Now I'm going to add in the flour mixture that we did at the very beginning. And using my spatula, I'm just going to mix this together until all the flour is combined. All right, my oven just beeped. I have my silicone liner here. I did go ahead and grease it. Any kind of bread pan is fine. I just opt for the silicone. It's a lot easier to get your items, your baked goods out. And I'm just gonna get my pumpkin bread batter into the loaf pan. All right, my oven is ready at 350 degrees. I'm going to put this on the middle rack for 45 minutes. All right, I just pulled it out of the oven. It did take 50 minutes, not 45. In the book, it does say 45 to 50, or I think it said 40 to 50. I know mine always takes on the longer side. So it started at 45. It did need that extra 5 minutes. So 50 minutes total for me, my oven. But I am going to let this cool completely. So in about an hour, I'll come back and we're going to make a really yummy glaze to go on top. And then we're gonna top it with some pumpkin seeds as well. So we're not done just yet. The bread is pretty much cooled off. It's been a little over an hour at this point. I have 1 cup of powdered sugar in my little bowl here, and I'm adding in 1 tablespoon of the pure pumpkin puree, about 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, 1 tablespoon of milk, and a little pinch of salt. And this is gonna be our glaze. So I'm just gonna whisk this up. I may add a little more milk just so it's a more of a drizzly, yeah, I'm gonna add maybe like a splash of milk. I wanna be able to kind of pour this over my bread. Just a splash. All right, so we'll whisk this up. Here's the pumpkin loaf. And I'm just gonna spread the glaze on the top, let it run over the side. All right, now I've got these pepitas, just roasted and salted pumpkin seeds. So if you wanted to do your own, if you've already carved pumpkins, you could use the pumpkin seeds for this bread. I'm just gonna sprinkle a little on top. Cover the whole thing. All right, I'm gonna let this sit for about 15 minutes to let the glaze set. Bread is completely done. I definitely did not need to add the extra milk. I was thinking I wanted it a little more on the runny side so it would really drip, but I'm gonna make this again. Maybe not like right now, but I'm gonna make this again. It is fantastic. I already cut a piece off, had a little bit, tastes phenomenal. I love the pumpkin seeds on the top. The little bit of extra salt and crunch really kills how sweet this is, so that's perfect. But I feel like it would have been awesome if the glaze was a little thicker, which is what the book suggested. I just went off course, which I do with a lot of recipes. I try things out, but I was thinking like to get it to drip a little bit more, but we can like dip our bread into everything down here. But I do feel like stick with the book recipe if you guys try it out. It's only about 1 tablespoon of milk, not an extra splash like I did, but oh my gosh, so good. Cannot wait for everybody else to try it. We'll definitely, like I said, keep this recipe in our arsenal for this time of year. Okay, just had a piece of the pumpkin bread and that was lip smacking good. Let me tell you, I'm still like getting it all out of my mouth. It is super delicious. So definitely try those 2 recipes out, but I have a lot more to try out. Not necessarily gonna film them all, but I'm glad I picked this book up. We've definitely wanted to try more homemade breads in the house, whether it be like a regular loaf or fun holiday treats and flavored loaves. It's not just loaves, there's like muffins and biscuits and anything bread related is in this book. So like I said, excited to dive more into it and try more recipes. If you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new. I do have, next week is gonna be a grocery haul, not sure what store yet. I think I'm gonna go out with Kira. Her birthday was this past week, and we haven't been able to get together in like a month. So I'm excited to go out with her. Not quite sure, like I said, what store yet. And then I have some Halloween treats coming. I'm gonna be making those in a couple days and filming them to share. And then I have some Instant Pot recipes as well. So a lot of goodness coming your way. I hope you're having a fantastic day and I will see you in the next video. Bye.